Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Whoop, whoop. I always like morning time. Afternoon time's good too. But today we are going to be doing our Keep It Simple, Step It Up. We're going to start off with our 3x3 card, and we're using the Flowering Tulips stamp set. And I have used the mini embosser as well too to be able to die cut some of the stuff out. I'll show you that as well. And we'll get 3 cards done where we start very simple with just stamping, and then we step it up by adding additional items to it. So the other exciting things, because there's a lot of things going on in March. So one thing that's coming up that I want to bring up to you real quick was whoop, whoop, Zoe's having a birthday week during spring break. Her birthday always falls during spring break, and which is always interesting. But anyway, she wants to do a giveaway, so we're going to do a giveaway every night at 8 p.m. on YouTube. So you just need to subscribe and be ready to follow and comment once we do the posting, so she knows what you would like to win. Because when she does the drawing each night, you win, that's what you'll be getting. All right, so keep a heads up, we'll have more information out there soon. But with that, let's go on down to the hands, and we're gonna sit up there and get going. All right, so this is the stamp set that we're using. We've actually used the die cutting more when we're working toward the Easter basket, but today we're actually going to just stamp. So I have actually already got my stamp sets ready, and we're just going to do some stamping, and I'm going to stamp some tulips. And actually I had some real tulips here at the house that I bought at the house to inspire me, because I don't have any tulips growing. I have other things growing. So I'm going to post those also so you can see what real tulips look like. It's amazing, you know, how you get them and then how they open up. So all I did was tapped it 3 times, and I'm just going to stamp right here. And I'd already put my stamps on here so I could have them spaced out, knowing that I was going to work with a 3x3. And yes, the blooms do have little, I don't know what you call it, stamina, I don't know, whatever it is. It's part that causes the flowers to bloom and grow new flowers. I'm going to do this in a bright yellow because it's got that bright yellow pollen. I know lots of times we stamp the stuff in black, but I'm going to do it in this bright yellow. If I don't like it, I can always come back at another time and re-stamp it with black. But right now, that's what was staring me in the face when I was up there watching those tulips. And actually, I'm just going to do that one to the side there, because that one's just not going to go all the way. Alright, so at least do that, and then we're going to get our stems on here. And let me clean my stamps off as I go, because it's a good habit. I actually used some black StazOn ink, and you can see here, but they have some cleaner, so I'll have to go and clean it. Then I've got my stems. I already put my stems and leaves on here, so all I'm going to do is stamp off, alright? And I'm going pastel on you. That's okay, it's springtime, and that's what it reminds me of. And that's all I'm going to do. I already know this isn't going to completely fit, so I'm just going to go ahead and just stamp here. And I already know I'm going to stamp off the paper, alright? So I'll get the look I want. See there? And I have my stem, and then now I'm going to do the other one on the longer one here. So this one's going to be a little bit longer that you can see, but I'm just going to have it. I'll just ink it up a little bit more, and it's going to cross over a little bit. I don't have to stamp up the whole thing. In fact, I'll do the edge because I don't want to do the leaf yet. And I'm just going to do it like this here. So I'm going to come up here, and I know they're going to cross over. And you know what? If you've had any tulips in a vase, they're going to cross over. That's what we did. I shouldn't say we did. I did. I had some tulips, and they were in a vase. And, you know, the stems are going to cross over, right? Leaves are going to cross over. So I'm just going to do that same thing. All right, so there's actually 2 different size leaves here. We have a smaller leaf, and I got them stamped out up here for when we do the other ones, so you can see the smaller one, and we have the large one. Well, because of the size of paper I'm using, I'm going to focus on just using the smaller one. Because that's just the paper, and again, I've already just put all my stamps right on here, so I didn't have to keep on changing out blocks. I try to load it up so I could save time. But the thing is all you gotta do is come, and so I just sort of, again, I'm gonna stamp off, right? So all I have to do is just turn my leaf however I want it, and then I'm going to stamp there, and it's stamped off the paper, right? And then I can easily just turn it around and use the other part to stamp right here. And since I inked up only the leaves, there's not going to be a lot of stuff going on right there, right? So then that's done. So then all I have to do on this simple little card here that we've created is I just need to put a message. I was going to say a tag, but with this small, lots of times I don't. I just sit there and I just put a stamp directly on it. So instead of using black, I'm going to use a darker green. This is Old Olive. The first one I used was Pear Pizzazz. So this is just a little bit darker. And this one says, love you so much. Right? And this would actually go very nice with a bouquet of flowers. Maybe somebody will get a bouquet of flowers and I'll attach a card to it. And there you go. Now let's see. Yep, I got that. Okay. So there you go. We have our simple card, right? Very simple. Just use ink. Could I put a bling there? Yes, I can. And if I did, and we can, let me just get this out over here. Clean my stamp first, though. I do not want to develop bad habits, which are very easy to develop and hard to get rid of. Just ask me, I'll tell you. All right, so let's get some butterfly. We're going to just get one because I'm trying. This is simple, right? I just want to keep this simple. And we've sort of been rating the butterflies. Everybody likes butterflies. And I'm just going to take one of the small ones here and put it on here. And it's just very nice and simple. If you don't like it, if you don't want the butterfly there, move it. Okay, it's not that hard. As long as you don't sit there and put a lot of pressure on it, I can just as easily move that one butterfly there. I can easily move it there, but we're going to leave it right there, all right? Because we're going to move on to the next one. But just very simple card with stamping, and I just put one little embellishment or bling that we like to call it. So let's get ready to step up to the next level. All right, as we step up to the next level here, we're going to add, first of all, we're going larger. Instead of the 3x3, I'm going larger. 3x3 are for all my special friends out there that love 3x3s. They are cute, they're fun, and they're easy to use. You can use them anywhere. All right, so I am going to take this here. This is the Flowering Fields. I'm going to get started here. Flowering Fields paper that I'm using. And yes, I'm going to go right over that. All this pretty color here. Because I need the other side. So that's what happens. It's okay. If it bothers you that much, get somebody else to cut your paper for you. Alright, so, I already got it stuck down. I didn't want it stuck down just yet. Alright. So I actually did this the exact same height and width. Let me just start on this edge so I can see it a little bit better. So I just want to get it edge to edge, right? Because I'm covering the whole front of this white cardstock that I cut out. And it might just be a smidgen. Looks like it might be a smidgen. For whatever reason, I'm not getting that straight. See if I can get that. Well, if you're out there, be sure to say hello and all, please. Oh, hi, Bridget. Hello, Jennifer. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you can see how sticky this is, so it's really hard to pull off. But I didn't get the edge right, and I really want to get the edge right. Because if I don't get the edge right, then it's all going to be a little off, or I have an opportunity for creativity. And as much as I do opportunities for creativity, okay, it looks like I might just have, I didn't cut the paper correctly. Alright, that's okay. We're not going to sweat the small stuff. Because I can go back and trim it if I want to. So this, I did die cut. So I used the mini embosser, and this is the mini embosser. And it's really lightweight and easy to carry around, and it's really good for what I was working on right now. So I cut out several pieces, and I'll show you the pieces that I cut out. Because as you go through this, these are the things that I cut out. On this card here, I cut out this. And then you'll see in a minute when I do the flowers, I cut out some flowers and the leaves that I cut out also. But I all did it on the mini embosser. So that's how I'm going to get it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and put this down. I'm not going to put this down on dimensionals. I'm going to put the next one down on dimensionals. So you could put this down on dimensionals. It just depends, you know, what height you want. This is going to be right next to this, so I don't need this on dimensionals. So I just said that, grab the dimensionals. Because I want the color to show through, okay? And it's going to show through better if I sit up there and just use this here. But I could put it on dimensionals, but I'm not. Okay? So that's all an option for you. And this is, Bridget, I have to agree with you, this is beautiful paper. This is one of Zoe's favorite papers too. When she won at bingo at the retreat, this is the paper she ordered along with some of that marbled colored paper and rainbow paper, but this is her favorite DSP that she picked out. Just pretty paper. So we're just going to lay this down, and so that way it's going to pick up, because we die cut this out, and it's going to pick up that yellow just to give it a little extra touch. And then this here is going to fit across right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to do it just like I did with the mini card, except the one exception that's going to be different is that I'm actually going to also add in here some die cuts that I've already done. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to stamp one at a time. Well, I can go ahead and I'm going to stamp one at a time because I'm going to intermingle the others. So I'm going to use the same color I used a while ago. And don't worry, I have plenty of flowers. So I'm going to stamp here. And then this one I'm just going to turn over. And if you're concerned about, like I'm concerned about right now, that I might accidentally have some color left there, I am just going to do this. I'm going to put this underneath because I didn't bring my regular white paper with me that I normally would use. I'm just, I didn't do that. Let me do that again. Just trying not to stamp it, but you know what? I'm not going to sweat it. There we go. All right. Because I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do some of the die cutting flowers in between, so it's not going to be just stamping, all right? Because we're stepping it up from what we just did. We just did just stamping, and so I want to take it up another level here, and that's how I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do is, so I'm actually going to do it with the stems as well too. So I'm going to add some stems here, and I've got a purple, another purple one over here. I also have a little bit rosier color one. Okay, let's go with the purple one. I like the purple one better. All right, so at least it gives us a variety, and then we can put some leaves in here. Okay, so I want to do a little bit of both, which is okay. All right, it's your card, you're creating it, you can do whatever you want to do. So all I'm going to do then is I'm going to just sit up here and I'm going to just put a little bit of this tape on here, and I'm going to get this runner here, and we'll have to snip some of it off, right? So I'm just going to see if I can run some tape right across it. If not, I'll use a glue dot. And then I'll just come across the stem too. Now when you come across the stem, the tape's going to be a little bit wider. But that's okay. That's why I have this silicone mat here, because I can easily roll it over. And then when I go put this on, I'm going to use the mat behind it as well, right? Because I know I'm going to have some extra sticky stuff. And I'm just going to put it up here. Alright, it's going to come down. It'll be okay because I'm going to stamp the other, and then I'll cut off the excess. Alright. Hello, Rebecca. It's good to see you. Alright. And so if you guys like a different color, let me know, because goodness knows I have a baggie full of colors here that I've sat there and I've done of all these tulips. Because you know me, I like choices. I always like to have my choices. Let's see here. Where's the one I just had? Oh, here it is. Okay. And then go come with a glue stick right here again. And it will. You know, the tape runner will go across the back of it. It's not the same as just rolling down a sheet of paper, but that's okay. And again, this is real thin. I could use my little thin glue thing that I have, but for the sake of time and not wanting to wait for the glue to dry, I just did it like this. Okay. And if you don't want it exactly like that, we can always stick some more in there too. And again, I'm just going to clip this off. And And we'll go ahead and get some leaves in there, and then if we want to add more, we can. So I am actually going to, let's see if I can go ahead. We got left over on the stem here. I have some stem left over here. So I don't have to stamp this one if I don't want. I could just as easily come down like this and clip this extra off. That's using my leftover stuff. Let's see if I find the one from a while ago in the other stem. Don't see it real handy, but that's okay. And I can do this one as well too. So we'll go ahead and just put some here. But you know, it does help to get inspired by having some real tulips. You know, I did try to look online and just look at tulips from there, but it just wasn't the same. Because you know, when you get tulips in a vase, it's nice and interesting because some of the flowers aren't quite open yet. So you get to watch them as they open and see how the tulip, and you can see how all the different cuts they have in the set here really goes. There's the other part that I couldn't find. You can see therefore how it really blends so well with real tulips because you get to really see them opening up. So here now I'm just going to add some stamps. So I will most likely just stamp the leaves because that's easier for the moment, just so I can just give you a nice mixture. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to stamp, and I'll do the same thing. I'm going to stamp off. All right, I'll just stamp it 3 times, and then I'm just going to stamp my leaves, right? And because it's bigger and taller, I get to do more. All right, and I'm just going to stamp that again because this is actually a most probably nice size. I got this real giant one, but it's most probably not going to go as well. And I'm just going to rotate things around. And see, now I put this tulip here down, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. But that's okay. I'm just going to stamp it right here. And see. So we'll just continue on until we get it all done. And you know, and the nice thing is, if you want to fill this all in with leaves, you can. There's also something that reminds me of grass, but it's not really grass. But you could use it as well too. Alright, that top part didn't come off quite right, but that's okay. Then I just go back and I just push on the top part. Alright? Don't sweat the small stuff. That's really small stuff. Now, if you want to go in and add more leaves, that's perfectly fine. I think I am, just to fill in the gaps because I can. And then I'm just going to put it on the paper and put a tag on it, and we'll call it a card. And then somebody will get this. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm just going to add some leaves. Oh, that didn't come out. Why didn't I do that? Just a second. I don't know why that didn't do that, but that's okay. All I'm going to do is, this reminds me of using my embroidery machine. I just have to line up where the embroidery sat there and didn't do right, and then I just go and correct it. Okay, I'm going to add just a couple more, like right in here, just to fill in some of the gap. This reminds me of flower arranging. Rebecca, I know that you do floral design type stuff and all. It's always about, you know, filling in those gaps. So there's no gaps. So that's all I'm doing with this here, is I'm just filling in so there's no gaps, right? So I don't have a lot of white paper down there at the bottom. I could, but I'm not going for the elegance right now, right? I want to do simple elegance, so I might do it differently. So I'm going to clean this off. And then we're going to add this to right here. So as we step it up, you know, we're going to add a little bit more bling. So, but we still have our tag to put on here. And let me get my tag handy because it was in the envelope. Oh, here it is. Right here. So I'm going to drop this just a little bit lower so my tag will show up. And this was actually also done with the Mini Cut and Emboss. This is just the circle dies. I think that's what it's called. I have it handy. But anyway, it comes. This die set comes with a bunch of different circles and different sizes, which is really cool. So this one I am going to put up on dimensionals. Now the thing with the tag is right here, but I did this on vellum, And when I did it on vellum, you have to use StazOn black ink, or if you use another ink, you're gonna have to get your heater element thing to heat it up and all so it dries. You have to put it on low heat to get it to do that. But see, if I put an embellishment on that, it's going to show through, so I'm not. I'm just going to put a glue dot. But this one I'll do, just get these up, give them some extra dimensions. If I wanted to, I could just as easily toss in some leaves right here. We can look at it and see once I get it this far. So I'm just going to drop this down so you can see where I die cut there. And you won't even see hardly what I did on the bottom, but we'll do that on the next one because I did more. And then I can put this up here and you'll be able to see everything through here because this is vellum. Alright, but because it is see-through though, again, you're not going to be able to use the dimensionals. So we're going to just use a glue dot, and I have those right handy here. And we're just going to, I'm going to do it right under the thank you because you won't be able to notice it as much. I don't know that you'll be able to notice it at all, but all I gotta do is just come here, and here's my glue dot here, and I'm just gonna put this right on top of the spot where I want the thank you, and that way it won't be noticeable. It's clear, but still. And I'll put one right here behind the U, so I'll have two of them there. Pull this down. It'll make me feel better, especially with it going through the mail. And then I'm just gonna stick it right here. Now the only thing I don't have on here, so as you can see from I started simple with a simple card we just made, and the only thing I don't really have here is the bling, the butterfly, so I'll at least add a butterfly because that's what we did here. So I'm going to at least add a butterfly, and then we'll move on to the next card, and this one I'm going to add actually a bigger butterfly, alright, because it's a bigger card, so we can get a bigger butterfly. So I'm just going to put that little beautiful butterfly right there. And there you go. So we've got a stepped up card. Now if you wanted to, you could. I didn't, but you could. If I get that off, I could just as easily do like I did with the other. I could come over here and put some cardstock here that I've already cut out, but I like what I've got already, okay? If I wanted to add one more little flower, I could add one more little flower to make it 5, and we can do that. And let me get my little baggie of flowers. And that way I'll have one right here with the leaves. And I have different colors too. Let me just get a small one. Here's a small one right here. All I'm going to do is put a little tape on it here. And put it in there. And there you go. Now I have 5. And I have a mixture. Alright? So let's move on to the next one. Now the only thing I didn't do, if you wanted it right now, we could stamp the yellow. But I will wait until the next card, and that way I'll just do them both. Alright? So let's go to our third card, and this is our most stepped up card. Again, I have all my stuff in an envelope. Ready to go. So I've made a few changes. So as I stepped it up, I changed this here. We're going to have some ribbon added to it. And I changed this here, so I just changed the background. That doesn't mean it's stepped up, it just means I changed the background. But what I did do is I did do more die cutting here, and then we are going to use more of the flowers like this here. Alright, and that's how we're going to step it up and add that ribbon. So let me get the, this is nothing more than the 4 1/4. Okay, where's mine? This is nothing more than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's all it is. It's what your card stock is folded in half to create your card, and I'm just covering the whole front of the card. So that's what you have to do to cover the whole front of the card. So get that. And for whatever reason today I decided to do them sideways. Oops, because I think I was inspired by the catalog. Did that again. I don't want to go through what I went to a while ago. Alright. Let's flip it around this way again. Because it's just a shadow here. And I think that's what the deal is I see a shadow. So I had it, for whatever reason, when I did this, I got a smidgen off. Alright. You see that got a smidgen off? And I was consistent with that on both cards. So, how would I solve it? I would just get my paper cutter and just come trim it off. I don't think there is one person that I send a card to that gets this measuring tape out unless they're going to case my card and they sit up there and go and measure everything. So same thing here, just like I did a while ago. I'm just going to put this down. I'm down on the bottom. There we go. All right. So I'm just going to work around. So I don't want to put it on the part that's cut out, right? I just want to put it on the areas that aren't cut out because I don't need the sticky stuff to come through here. So I'll work my way around it. It'll still stick good. That's all that matters. We want it to stick good and down as it's being sent to someone, mailed out to somebody. You know, these make beautiful Easter cards, Mother's Day cards, birthday cards, thank you cards. I mean, it's just beautiful. Springtime is in the air. That's what all these flowers remind me of. It's just springtime. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing this time, except, like I said, is we're going to sit up here and put the flowers already cut. Now, I would like, and you'll have to tell me what you think, I was thinking about I would really, really, really like to find a way to get a windmill in here. Now, if I do that, the thing is that when you look at my flowers compared to my windmill, they're just sort of big. So if I really wanted to alternate this and use my windmill, which you can see how big it is, because you want to make sure this moves, and I can still get it in here. So I don't know. I could do that. If I did that, these big flowers won't work as nice as if I turned around and let's say I added flowers like this in the background. So you'll have to tell me whether you think we should stick with the windmill and use the windmill and put these little flowers behind it, or if we should just step it up with the other flowers. Does anybody have an opinion on that? Whether or not to use the windmill or not? Just give you a second here. I'm going to straighten this out because I am like in a, looks like I'm in a crooked mode today. Let me see if I can get this up without like tearing everything up. I don't know how. This one actually has lines on it, so I'm not sure how I managed to get that crooked. But hey, you know, it happens, right? So I'm just going to tug it over if I can. And you see I didn't rip the paper except one spot there where some of it came off because it really stuck good. But that's okay because you know what? This is going to cover it, right? Now I might have to tug on this other end to get this to work out. But that's okay. So I can just easily, got it lined back up there. There we go. Alright. Okay, yay. Boop, boop. Okay, so what do you think? The flowers behind the windmill? Alright, we'll do the flowers behind the windmill. Alright, so let me get this on here. And we'll get the flowers on here. Get the flowers on first, right? And then we can put this up on dimensionals and then put the... There, alright. So be it. Ooh, that's pretty too. So actually I used the paper from the Horizons, New Horizons paper, and that's why you see all the variation in colors. And you know, they actually do make good for cutting out the tulips if you want a variety of or variation of colors without creating your own paper. Or, there's several papers out there that you can do that with though too. So this isn't the only one. And actually I'm just going to start from down here on this side and come on over and I'll cut off the excess. Alright. And usually when I cut off the excess, this is going to cross over onto the other paper. So I usually will make sure that the flower stays whole. You'll see that. I'm going to go over to put this down. Because when you go and put this down, then you've got the flower crossing over. And again, it just adds to the dimensional effect there. The flowers crossing over. So I'm going to put the dimensionals here. And I'm just going to put them on the four corners and in the center. Then we'll put them on I got this little nifty thing the other day. It's like a little miniature trash can thing. It's in our other crafting area. We've got two crafting, for sure 2 crafting areas. It's always debatable. We got more than that. So like sometimes the whole place becomes a creating area. Alright, so I'm just going to, I'm actually going to do this, if I do that. Alright, let's see here. Let's see how this is going to look. Okay, I'm okay with that. The reason why I didn't want to bring that all the way to the bottom like I was fixing to do is because I made the point of die cutting on this cardstock behind here, so you see the die cutting, and I really wanted that. And if I brought that all the way to the bottom, I'd cover it all, some of it all up. So I'm gonna put this right here, and I can put that on dimensionals. If I did put on dimensionals, I put it on small dimensionals. So let me get some small dimensionals here. And the reason is I'm just sort of keeping well, I don't mind the height. I'm just keeping it down to not too high. This was already pre-put together, so this was die cut. It just has a brad right here. You can see how it's loose, and these are 2 pieces that were die cut as well. So actually, I had already die cut this previously, making Easter baskets, and I saved the leftover ones. This is when Sophia and I made a lot of windmills, and trying to decide which colors we liked the best. And I think we just liked making windmills because Mommy and Daddy wasn't home, and we were doing our thing. So this is what you get to do when you have leftover stuff. You get to use it, right? And that's important, especially when it's pretty. All right, so I'm just gonna do it right like that there. All right, and there we have our tulips, and we can add anything if we want. But what we're gonna do here is we have our tag, and we're going to slip it into, just like we did a minute ago, we're gonna use glue dots behind this. And then we can put some more bling on here and ribbon on here, because I want to get some ribbon on here, right? Ooh, you know what? I could pull a Francine. Francine always puts her ribbon. She likes to put ribbon behind her tag. So let's see how that's going to look for us. If it doesn't, we'll get that ribbon on there, all right? Because this beautiful ribbon. All right, so let me cut, because what you can do, you know, everybody always thinks you have to make a bow. I don't have to make a bow, right? I could just as easily take this and put it right behind here and put it up here. Back, let's see here, let me just cut it. And I'm just going to do it sort of more or less like this and squish it down, all right? Like this. Just like this, so it can just be in the background. Now you have to tell me if you don't like it, let me know. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it either or not, but I really want to use this ribbon because it's pretty ribbon. Okay, that's not really sort of floating my boat because I forgot that you can see right through that. Alright, we'll put it down here. It's one of those days of determination. I want to use the ribbon. Alright, so we got our tag right there. I'm going to put the ribbon right down here. And that'll look nice. And I'm just going to cut off the edges, and it's just up to you how you want it, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut right now because I already saw that this is going to be one edge. And then I'm just going to take this right here and I'm going to cut it off right there. So that'll be close enough for government work, right? Alright. And then I'm just going to use glue dots to put this down right here. And I'll just give it a nice extra little touch before I put the butterflies on, right? So all I'm going to do is sit up here, and you can put the glue dots on back of here. You could put glue. The only thing with glue sometimes, and you just have to play with it, some ribbons, the glue will show like a line through it. Whereas when I sit up there and use the tape here, that won't do that. I have done that, and all I do is just come down here, and it'll keep on going. Goes on a roll. If you think these are too big, then I would suggest Paper Pumpkin has some really tiny glue dots. I mean, they're like really tiny, but they glue just as well, and sometimes those work just as nice, depending on how you want that to lay down. I'm not sure I got that one. I don't think I got any of those. All right, hold on just a second. This isn't, it's gonna stick right there. Okay. Usually that sticks. This did not stick. So just work with it. I have to go back in and tuck some under. I'll go back in and tuck some over it, and I'll show you how to do that too. So I'm just going to take my ribbon and I'm going to put it underneath here. And it's just to give added accent, right? Because it's just pretty. And I'm just going to put it down right like that. Okay. And then I'm going to set it up here and get those beautiful butterflies. And I'm just going to add bling with butterflies. Okay. So I'm going to put one up here. And we always do things in odd numbers, right? So I can put big ones and small ones mixed together. Doesn't matter. I'm going to put 5 on here though because I can, right? Because I can. If Sophia was here, she'd say, yeah, add those butterflies. All right. There you go. So we have our card. So we have what we started out with. Very simple. Let me just clean my mess up here a second so you can see better. Alright, so we started off simple stamping. We sat here and went in and we added some vellum on the tag, added butterfly, and we added some die cutting in as well too. And then we've got the third one here where we've got the windmill. We've gone in, we've actually done just die cutting with this one, as well as we added some ribbon, and we could add do the ribbon differently too if we wanted to as well. But there you go. We have our 3 cards. We're keeping it simple and just stepping it up. So there you go. Let me get back up here, and I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please be sure to share and like it, and we'd appreciate that. And also it'll be on YouTube and Instagram, so you can see what the cards are just as the cards. So we enjoyed that, and be blessed and have a great week, and go out there and create, share, and give. All right, because it's all about also giving. And give those cards away to somebody else and make their day. All right, be blessed and have an adventuresome weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next week with Keep It Simple and Step It Up right here on Adventurous Stamping. Bye.